Time to recap Liberty's overtime win at Appalachian State on Saturday, 55-48. I'm Alan York, joined alongside Nick Pearson. A lot of plots to this ball game, Nick. Overtime again, second straight week. Just ebbs and flows, unlike any game we've seen in a long time. We thought last week's game was that game to talk about when it comes to emotions, but this one trumped it tenfold.
Yeah, well, anytime you've got two teams combining to put up about 100 points and more than 1,100 yards of offense, there's going to be a lot of subplots to that ball game. But no doubt the Liberty Flames able to overcome a lot this past Saturday, and a game that, as you mentioned, kind of mirrored the one from a week before. All comes down to a kick at the end of the game. This time the Flames were hoping that the kick went wide of the goalpost, and it did.
Yeah.
But still, there was even a little bit of angst there because the officials had to go to the replay monitor to confirm that the field goal was missed at the end of the game. So what was probably actually about 90 seconds felt like about 90 years to the Flames players and their coaching staff as they're down there waiting on the word. And, of course, did go wide right, and Liberty just able to pull it out in overtime. But tremendous credit to the coaching staff and the players to be able to bounce back after a very, very tough loss just the week before. Come out 7 days later and put this together.
And let's talk about the beginning of the game. You try the onside kick. It doesn't go your way. Appalachian scores on the first play from scrimmage. You're down 7-0. Then all of a sudden, you drive right back, tie the game. That first drive was critical for this team's success on Saturday.
It was critical, and I thought that it was very well executed. And credit to Aaron Stam as well, the offensive coordinator. He called a great ball game on Saturday. If I remember right, there was a 3rd and 15 on that drive, and Josh Woodrum able to hit it up with Kidd Brewer after the Flames had gone just 1 for 21 the last 2 weeks on third down. Liberty able to do much better in that category this past Saturday. And then there was a 3rd and 2, I think it was, on that drive also, where they go to the fullback, Nicky Fualaau, for the short yardage situation. So getting a lot of different people involved there, and the Flames eventually finished it up with a touchdown. I thought after the first couple of drives in the ballgame, I thought it was pretty apparent that Liberty had a tremendous advantage over Appalachian State's secondary, and you knew that the Flames were going to be able to put up points in that ballgame.
And Dante Shells exploited that. 8 catches for 164, 1 touchdown, and he bounced back from a subpar performance for him against Richmond.
Yeah, he did, and it was good to see. And I thought, again, credit to Aaron Stam. They got him involved early in the ballgame. They got him some short, intermediate, easy catches just to get his hands going, get him acclimated to catching the football, and then they threw the deep ball at him a little bit later, and a credit to Dante for being able to execute.
Dante Shells added after the ball game. He credits, as Nick said, Aaron Stam for getting him warmed up early in Boone.
I appreciate Coach Stam just giving me the opportunity to bounce back early, and had a good small catches that opened me up long, so I felt good, give me good confidence.
You continue with the offense, Nick. You look at what they did in the first half.
There wasn't much to talk about.
There wasn't much on the ground. 3 yards rushing in the first half, and then DJ ends up with 129 rushes, a couple of just bruising runs, one key 4th down run on that game-tying drive late in the fourth quarter. So they wanted to run the football. They stuck with it when times were kind of dire there in the first half.
Yeah, what was the 4th down play? He needed, 2 yards, and he wound up getting 6. I mean, Abner, that guy can move a pile. I mean, you wouldn't think it either, just looking at him, from the outside looking in. But he's Mighty Mouse back there, man. He can really. All he needs is a crease, and he'll take a mile. But yeah, Abner, just for the Flames offensively, 3 yards rushing in the first half. He had 6 carries for 6 yards. Finishes up with a career high 29 carries. And goes for 129 yards. Just an outstanding performance by Abner, and really answered some questions for the Flames as well with this rushing attack that has been, it's sputtered at times this year, and obviously missing Des Rice. But I think Abner has shown I can be that every down guy. I can shoulder this workload, and that was really good to see.
And when you talk about the offense, I know the defensive guys were really happy the offense showed up, because defensively there were some holes that got exploited in that ball game, and luckily you have an open week now to kind of fix some of those, get some guys healthy, and get them back in the fold.
Yeah, if you want to talk about one downside to this ball game, I mean, the Flames gave up 628 yards of offense, and that's the most that they had surrendered in almost 10 years. Yeah. So you got to go back a ways, and a little bit of the same problem for Liberty. They're young in the secondary right now. Justin Guillory, Tyron Holloway, those guys are going to – and Holloway actually had a really good play on an interception in that ball game. Don't take anything away from him there either. those guys are going to be really good players down the road. But right now, it's trial by fire for those guys. And they're just getting thrown out there against FBS receivers and just in tough situations. Flames were missing Wesley Scott last week. Hopefully in the bye week, Liberty's going to get healthy. You get Wesley Scott healthy, Nick Sigmund, Jimmy O'Grady. Maybe you can get those guys back after the bye week. We don't know yet. We don't know what the timeline is, but I think certainly that's what the Flames are hoping for.
Defensively, we caught up with safety Jacob Hagen, who had a great play to seal the win, and he says we are young at some spots, but we made some big plays when we needed to.
We got beat, corner's still a little young, whatever, though. That's not an excuse, but, we got beat on some deep passes. But the thing about us, we stay together. We keep chopping that wood. We knew we was going to need some stops, and we got them when we needed them.
You also have to credit, Nick, the job the coaches did to get this team to battle back. A short week, as they say, when you go on the road, especially after what happened here at home against Richmond last week.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I touched on with Coach Gill after the ball game. And I think what the staff really does a good job of is they don't harp on anything, whether it's a win or a loss. They put it to bed on Sunday, and then they turn the page. And they go back, they make the corrections that they need to. Coach Gill said that in this bye week they're going to study every play that they've had through the first 7 ball games of this season. So, it gives you a little bit of time for some assessment there. But then you're going to turn the page and go right into conference play. And I think that this coaching staff just really does a good job of that and, getting these players to forget the good or the bad and focus on the next opponent.
Let's not make any mistake about it. Appalachian State was playing with 80 scholarship players. They'll move to 85 next year. Liberty only 63. But you look at Appalachian State's team, very young team, 46 freshmen or redshirt freshmen. Liberty, a veteran team. When you look at some seniors they've got, juniors, redshirt juniors that made some big plays. So the experience, I think, helped Liberty win that game also on Saturday.
No doubt about it. I mean, you got a third-year starter at quarterback. You've got some guys back there that can make some plays. Like I said, I think Liberty's biggest spot where they're young is the secondary right now. But, the playmakers made plays when they had to. And Coach Gill talked about that after the ball game. Woodrum, Peterson at times, Dante Shells certainly, and DJ Abner. And now that they've got shells going, I would not want to be a defensive coordinator having to plot against these guys right here because you can't just blanket Peterson now. If Dante's involved, I mean, those two guys, Dante's just as fast as Peterson is.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a real headache now going forward for opposing teams.
And they got the tight end back involved again after a couple of weeks. Dexter Herman with a touchdown, a couple of big catches for him.
And he only had 3 catches, but that's all you need.
Yeah.
Just keep them honest, And that was really good. It's, like I said, Aaron Stam did a tremendous job this past Saturday, getting a lot of different people involved. And there were no drops, Alan. No drops by any of the receivers.
Yep.
Great concentration, just an all-around great execution.
So Liberty moves into its bye week right now at 4-3. Next game coming up October 25th, hosting Gardner-Webb. For Nick Pierce, I'm Alan York for the Liberty Flames Sports Network.